Well, obviously, you get a chance to look at some film, kind of address some things internally or whatever this week. What do you look for at this point in the season when you're trying to just address what you want to go over with your team?
Well, a big part of it, especially with a couple of these practice games, is can you carry over what you're doing on the practice floor to the game floor? How much is that slippage? So that's really what we're trying to address, and we're getting there. We've got to rebound the basketball better, and I think that'll come. And we just got to make sure we're playing with the pace that we want to play with. But these games have been great for us. Going up to Minnesota and then playing UNO here was outstanding for us.
As a coach, I'm sure at this point in the year, you're like every coach at Big State. We got to get better at this, and this. It's a pretty lengthy to-do list. How do you sort of, choose and decide, hey, this is what we're focusing on, and just to make sure you're not overwhelming them with
just different parts of practice, your emphasis changes. Whether it's ball screens you're struggling with, or rebounding, or transition defense, you just build that into your practice plan to make sure that it's addressed, and then it's also emphasized. And then there has to be a level of accountability with it. Otherwise, it doesn't seem to get drilled home as well as you need it to be. So, we still have a lot to work on. It's still October.
Right.
It seems like it's later because we start practice so early, but. We're making good progress, and I think this is a team that's going to get better as the year goes on.
Is it fun for you as a coach? You got a couple of proven commodities obviously on the floor, and some upperclassmen that have played, but you've got a lot of kind of new toys to play with, and lineups that you can tinker with. Is that fun for you this time of year to kind of think about the possibilities of your lineups?
Well, the most fun is when you have experience at every spot. That's the most fun as a coach. But it's been very rewarding to coach these young guys, especially because they're hungry, they want to learn. They love to be in the gym, and that's what makes coaching fun, is guys that are into it and that are engaged in what's going on. All three of our freshmen have done that, and it's been fun to watch them progress from the first practice to where they are today, because obviously their head was in sand there for a few weeks until they got their feet on the ground and learned a little bit more what our expectations are. But they've done great, and they've been a lot of fun to coach.
One of the things that we were talking to Marcus and Taz after the game about was just sort of their, maybe, I don't know if it's increased, but just, making a point to, with the ball in their hands, making a play for the team and kind of jump-starting the offense maybe. Have you talked to them specifically about that? Is that kind of their nature? They just kind of sort of pick it up and realize, hey, new faces, we're the experienced guys, they're going to look to us.
Yeah, I think they understand that. And obviously last year after Maurice went down, their role changed and they had to do more of that. We're throwing it ahead to them in transition a little bit more than we did maybe last year. Last year we let Maurice keep it and let him be the decision maker. But those two are very effective and powerful going to the rim in transition. And when you have to respect the way they can shoot the three-point shot, it can create some driving lanes, and now the defense breaks down and they're making a play for themselves or somebody else. So I've been really pleased with what they've done. Their leadership has been great, and obviously we're going to need them both to have a great year.
Did you expect, when you're looking at Kyrie and bringing him in, obviously a great athlete out of high school and prep school, but defensively he was a star from the start. But did you expect his offensive game to come along as, to the point where he can be relied upon as much as he will be this year?
That's probably somewhat of a pleasant surprise because Kyrie never really cared if he scored. But I think as he's worked at it and as he's seen significant improvement in his game, he's become much more confident and gets over a bad play or a missed shot much better than he did before. So, he's been terrific, and obviously the defensive stuff for a sophomore to be as good as he was last year on the defensive end of the floor, and now to have the offense to go with it. I think he's one of the better two-way players in college basketball.
What's the biggest positive you took away from these first two preseason games so far?
Just getting the guys out on the floor and off the practice floor, you get to compete against somebody else instead of beating up on each other. But the film that you have to teach off of when you're playing somebody else is much more valuable than when you're playing the guy that guards you every single day. So, there's some things that we were exposed on, and maybe a few things that I thought we did probably better than I anticipated that we would. So, from a teaching standpoint, that's what these two games have been about. And we'll see what happens Friday. That'll be another opportunity for us shorten the rotation maybe a little bit and clean some things up and see exactly where we're at.
Just a couple injury things real quick. Caleb, you just hoping that he gets better, or how do you monitor him?
Well, he's in. He's getting treatment every day.
Yeah.
Off day or practice day, he's in with Ben McDermott. The unfortunate thing, hamstrings just take a while, and he practiced about half the time on Sunday. Hopefully he can go a little bit more today, and I'd like to be able to use him in the game a little bit more on Friday than we were able to use him against UNO, just so he can get a little bit more of the rust off. But the most important thing, the priority is his health. We have to get that thing healthy. It's not something we want to deal with for the next 3 months.
And then Damian, who's out for
about 2 more weeks, I think. He has stress fracture in his foot. But I think the boot's going to come off here soon, and he can at least do some running in the pool, but still a few more weeks before he practices.
How's Toby look to you?
Yeah, he didn't play well against UNO. I thought he played much better against Minnesota. He's fighting some pretty serious ankle problems that we're going to have to deal with. They fixed it the best they could, and he's in a lot of pain, and some days it's worse than others. But his experience of knowing where to be on the floor and when to be there, and his communication skills, those are going to be really valuable to us because he does have the most experience of anybody in that front line. So we've just got to manage his practice time the best we can and hopefully get him through the season.
The added weight looks good.
Yeah, he does. He is. He's more physical, and we just need him to rebound a little better.
Right.
Here, you guys got a chance to get back to work a little bit here this week. I mean, just what are you guys kind of looking at developing and everything right now at this point in the season?
Mostly just the stuff we saw when we was watching film. Some of the small things we need to correct on defense, clean up our box out a little bit. But I was impressed with how we played. But it's all about correcting the small stuff.
I mean, for you personally, with all the different looks and places, that, positions that you've been in, and ways that you contributed to this team, what do you look at this year for your role to be? Because it seems like you got about 3 or 4 different ones every time you get on the floor.
I just want to be a guy that helps the team win, really, whether that's scoring or passing or rebounding. Whatever I could do to help give us that edge, I feel like I'll be able to do it. And if coach needs like a more specific thing out of me, he'll let me know that, and I'll be able to do that.
You look at the way the schedule, starts for you guys, getting going, the rest of the week. I mean, what's the excitement level for you guys to kind of, get on the court and get this ball rolling?
It's really exciting. We've had like the scrimmage against Minnesota and then the game against UNO, so those was our first times playing against other people besides ourselves. So that was really fun, and just continuing to do that and then getting into the wind of the season, it's always exciting.
Ronnie, you're one of the guys who are expected to kind of have an increased role. There's a lot of players on here that maybe fans haven't seen much of yet. But is there a challenge there in terms of like kind of finding the exact way you're going to contribute, your exact role?
I don't think it's really a challenge. Because I know what I could do. So, like, coach won't ask me to do anything that he knows I'm not capable of. So anything he asks me to do, I know I'll be able to do that, and just do it to my best ability.
Is there? Do you feel like you guys have kind of found that right chemistry piece in terms of, because when you do have new guys doing like stepping up into different roles, it can be maybe challenging at times.
I think we've done a really good job. Like you guys watching practice, we do a really good job of moving the ball, playing together on offense, playing fast still. So I think we're doing a really good job. And it's only October.
Right.
A lot of teams are just now getting started, building their team up, and I feel like we're kind of ahead right now.
How much does the end of last year, where you kind of tried to develop a lot of different things and options offensively, how much does that help you guys this year when you start the season, and those roles kind of moving forward?
Yeah, it gives us a sense of what guys will be able to do what in the next season, but then again, you really can't count on that a lot because it's a whole new season. Guys develop throughout the summer. A lot of new guys will come in and surprise you. Manny Suarez, we got a transfer come in and surprise people. So you got to take it season by season.
How about for you? Was there anything that you felt you really wanted to work on and hammer home this off season going into this year?
Really just my whole game. Like that's been one of my strengths is my versatility. So I didn't want to like really focus in on one aspect and lose other aspects. So I'm just keeping myself whole, being able to do multiple things on the court.
I just want to ask you, Marcus and Taz, they've gotten some attention this preseason, and obviously they're going to be on the court a lot and giving teams problems. Have you sensed that they've sort of stepped up? I don't know, from a leadership role or just knowing that they're going to have to kind of at times sort of.
Yeah, I mean, all the attention that they've gotten, they definitely deserve. I've been in here working with them and seeing them put in that work. So every accolade and every bit of attention, that they fully deserve that. And they've also taken the responsibility of stepping up and being more of a leader for our team. We have a lot of young guys, so I think they're doing a really good job.
With it being Halloween, do you have a favorite candy at all?
Favorite candy? No, I try to stay away from candy. Give me cavities. Yeah.
Well, obviously, you had a chance to work on some things after taking a look at the film from the scrimmage and everything. What do you guys focused on, I guess, this week here?
Yeah, I was just watching film this morning. I think we did some of the good things in the first half in defense, and I'm pretty sure we have a lot of things to fix, especially on ball screen defense. So we'll try to clear that up.
For you personally, I mean, how do you attack the start of this season? I mean, you want to, carve out a role for yourself and make a name for yourself a little bit. I'm sure. Like, what's your approach going into the start of the year?
I'm just trying to help what I learned to younger teammates, especially freshmen and newcomers. Trying to be a leader, trying to be vocal, and just when I play, just try to put that on the court with me.
Do you feel ready? Like, the season's starting. I mean, I guess you're playing an exhibition, but it's starting in 10 days-ish, right? Like, do you feel ready to get going?
Yeah, I think I'm ready. I was working hard this summer. We were all, in the gym at all times, and I'm pretty sure that comes with it.
How much does the end of last season, where you guys kind of had to, change your identity a little bit as a team, how much does that help you guys this season, kind of maybe getting a little head start on figuring out roles and things like that?
Yeah, I think in some ways that helped us, So we had to take different roles and play maybe a little differently than we used to. But then this year, we almost started from the beginning. We lost a lot of starters, and we just got the roles, what we did on practice.
I was going to ask you, Coach mentioned that you did play pretty well against Minnesota. What was your sort of takeaway from your individual performance against Minnesota? What did you learn, and what did you think you did well in that scrimmage the other day?
I was very active in offense and defense at all times. I was running up and down. I read the situations. I was going with the principles that we learned because we didn't know a lot about Minnesota team.
Right.
So I think the fundamentals that we learned here, I did pretty well with those. So.
Good.
I was going to say, last year, people remember you from the putback dunks, essentially, and then that was kind of where you made your splash for a lot of fans. But you can do a lot more than that. You can shoot from outside and all that stuff. Are you excited to kind of, let people in to see like what your game is capable of?
There's 5 players on the court. I'm never going to put myself on the first position, on the first spot, but I'll try to give my best and do what I do on practice and try to convert it in a game.
Good stuff.